Today or this presentation is to show you how to do up Residex and RP data report for a client. Now I'm seeing a client tomorrow by the name of Yvonne Lin that wants to purchase a property at 24 Arakun Avenue in Penrith. She wants to buy the property for 550,000. So what am I going to do? I'm going to reestate.com to see whether this property is on the market, how much it is selling for. So here is the property. I can see there is a 4-bedder, 1 bathroom, but no price was stated. So I will just assume the property was indeed going to be sold for 550,000. And first, I will run Residex report because it requires a lot less work. So I go to my password listing in Google Drive. Residex, I click that. I'm going to press and here it is, the property is here. I will just create CMA. Okay, we got the property. It is, the indicative value is 507,000, but I'm not too worried. Why? The reason is because Residex and RP data does not incorporate any improvements conducted on the property since the last sale. It is a 4-bedder. It is a 1-bedroom, which ties with what I can see on domain.com. So that's fine. But in the event that it is not, I will conform with what is listed on domain.com by changing the attributes of the property here. Why is there a discrepancy sometimes? The reason is because when the property was originally registered, land titles offers, it could be a 3-bedder, but subsequently it was converted to a 4-bedder but was not updated with the land titles offers. That's why there's nothing dodgy about it. In this case, it is all done. I just press finish. Download. And here we go. We got a report for the client. Now, how am I going to explain this to the client? I will tell them over the last year, Penrith has outperformed the market, underperformed the market, the Sydney market 2 years ago, and over the last 3 years. But overall, it seems to conform with what the overall market has been doing. If I scroll up, I will tell them 60 meters away, there was another property bought for 491,000 back in. No, it's actually just a fortnight ago. It may be worth 491,000 now because the property was just bought a fortnight ago. I could tell them 700 meters away, there was a property bought for 490 back in October last year. It could be worth about 520 now. So this just tells them about comparable recent sales. Let's scroll up here. And if they ask me about comparative price estimate analysis, I will tell them since the last property was bought in 2006 for since 2006 when it was bought for 307,000, if I look at average increases in the suburb, the property is worth 499,000 now. If I look at per meter square of what is being sold in the market, the property is worth 475. Median value, just look at how much out of 100 properties being sold in the market, what is property 50 being sold at? Properties on the street and properties in the whole suburb, what this property may be worth. And how much Residex think how the property is worth, which is 508,000. The confidence level is only moderate. Residex itself is not too sure on whether this is correct or not. So I got a report. I'm going to save this. You have to conform with my format of how I save a report in PDF. It goes by the street name followed by the suburb. Do not put down the number of the street this property is located at. This is a safe space. So I save that. Okay, now I go to RP Data. Again, I go to my password listing. I look for RP Data. Click that. I'm going to type in the address of the property. 24 Arakund Avenue in Penrith. Okay, we got it. Search. To generate the report, you just press CMA report. Now, my client told me that she's buying the property for 550. So I will give her comparisons. I will show her properties around 500 to 600,000. I refine, and you will see the number of listing drops from about 90 to 24. Now this is still a little bit too much in terms of number of listing. It will just confuse the client. So we will restrict this to 8 to 15 listing. And how am I going to do that? I don't want to show my clients so many different houses on sale. I am going to reduce the radius of what this property is picking up. 1 kilometer to 500 meters. There's only about 8 properties left. I'm happy to accept this. I'm going to press select all. Now if your client is looking at purchasing a unit, just click unit type. Alright, in this case, my client wants to purchase a house, so I'm going to get the report to pick up everything. It should be fine. Because in Penrith, there's not going to be much units anyway. So these are our properties sold. We come to the on the market column. Again, I use a midpoint of 500 to 600,000 because my client wants to buy the property for 550. And refine. There's no properties in the market at around this price range within the last 500 meters. What am I going to do? To broaden my selection, I'm going to increase the radius to 1.5 kilometers. So you can see here, there are 4 properties in the market. Am I going to accept this? Yes, I'm going to accept this. Select all and move on. Market comparison, if I look at 1.5 kilometers, there's 192 listings. That's quite a lot. I do not want to confuse my client. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to look at only properties sold for between 5 to 600,000. Refined. There's still 23 listings. As I said before, my targeted listing number is between 5 to 15 properties. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to reduce the radius of my search to 10 to 1 kilometers. There's about 16 properties. Alright, fair enough. It's one out from what I told you to consider. In this case, I'm just being lazy here. I'm going to accept it. And you will just see what are, for example, with this property here, it was first listed for 550. It was listed on the market for 24 days. It was actually sold for 600. So I'm going to click next. The rental columns, don't worry about it. I don't show this to my client. We click next again. Okay, so we got the report. There's one last step you have to do. At the very end, suggested listing price, I have to click edit panel. In this case, it's prepared for Yvonne Lin, self-explanatory. The property appraisal price is between 530 to 618. So I'm going to give it a midpoint, which in this case is 574. Normally, I will give it a midpoint, but in this case, there is more than a 10% discrepancy with what Residex and RP Data says. So what am I going to do here? First of all, I'm going to ask, if you were doing it for a loan consultant, ask the loan consultant how much you should put down. In this case, to conform with Residex, I'm going to put it as 530, because the range was from 530 to a little bit over 600,000. I just used the lower range. So there must be not more than 10% discrepancy between Residex and RP Data. Okay, which is why we get to model estimate report. So just to repeat myself, with Residex, I have it here. The price was only 507. There must not be more than 10% discrepancy between the two. In this case, I will just use the lower end figure provided by Residex and save this. Okay, I'm generating a report here. So here we got the report, RP Data and Residex. Report is all done. I'm going to save this. And what am I going to call it? Again, just put down the street name followed by the suburb. Let's just say I'm supposed to email this to a client. What am I supposed to do? I just send it to myself in this case. This is just an example. Hey, if this is the first time the client is getting the report, it is important you tell that Residex and RP Data report are just model estimates and are subjective. Do not incorporate current market sentiment, stocks available for sale, or improvement conducted on the property since the last purchase. Also, the first page of Residex has a confidence level showing how much their confidence in the indicative value provided. And I will attach the two reports here. So if you have any questions, ideally look at this presentation again or ask me. Thank you very much for your time.